Hi guys, I'm Whitney from Sugar and Sparrow, and today I'm showing you a few methods for decorating your cakes with sprinkles, all without messing up your smooth buttercream finish. I do have another detailed video for covering an entire cake in sprinkles, which I will link below just in case you're curious about how that's done, but this video is going to focus on sprinkle placement around the bottom edge of the cake, plus how to add sprinkles one by one in a sort of floating pattern. These methods will work with any kind of sprinkles you want, but today I'm working with Sprinkle Pop sprinkles in the Hay Sugar mix. I'm starting with the smooth frosted cake that I made in my last Cake Basics video, which is a fresh layer of buttercream frosting on top of a chilled crumb-coated cake. I also have a large sheet pan handy for sprinkle sessions like this because it's so helpful for catching any stray sprinkles as I'm decorating. I placed my entire cake, turntable and all, on top of the sheet pan for this, and trust me, it's a step you don't want to miss because it will not only ensure you don't waste sprinkles, it will also save you from having to sweep up a ton of sprinkles off your kitchen floor when you're finished. To place the sprinkles around the bottom of the cake, I pour some of them into my hand, and I'm switching them to my right hand here since I'm right-handed. Then I simply press them onto the side of the cake where I want them, which in this case is the bottom third region. The frosting is still pretty fresh on this cake, so the sprinkles stick really well without having to press super hard and indent your cake. Since the cake was crumb-coated and chilled before I frosted it, the structure of this cake is really stable and won't be shifting around on me as I continue adding the sprinkles. I'll link the videos for both the crumb coating process and the frosting process below because it's those steps leading up to this decorating that really make all the difference when it comes to pressing sprinkles in without ruining your cake finish. Continue pouring sprinkles into your palm and pressing them onto the cake until you've covered the area you want. I like to eyeball where I want these sprinkles to stop, and I like the look of an imperfect edge, so I don't really worry about having highs and lows in the sprinkle placement. To clean up the extra sprinkles that end up on the turntable, I like to keep a pastry brush handy to sweep them away. This way I can see if I missed any spots and just get a better picture overall of what this sprinkle placement looks like. I'm really happy with this, so I'm going to move on to placing the sprinkles one by one. There are basically two ways to do this part. You can either use tweezers to place the sprinkles or place them with your hands. I have never had much luck with tweezers. I feel like I always end up with tweezer marks in my cake finish, so instead I prefer to press a sprinkle onto the pad of my finger and gently touch it to the cake where I want it. Either method you use is going to be pretty tedious and require a lot of patience, so just know that going into it. You'll drop a lot of sprinkles along the way, but just keep pressing sprinkles onto your finger one by one and pressing them onto the side of the cake about an inch apart in a random pattern. This part goes on in real time for about 15 minutes, so I'm going to speed things up so you can see the process without having to fast forward through every single sprinkle. A couple tips for you though. Number one, if you're having a hard time keeping the sprinkle on your finger, keep a damp paper towel handy so you can press your finger to it before pressing your finger onto a sprinkle. That little bit of moisture can help keep that sprinkle attached for long enough to press onto the cake. Number two, pressing the sprinkle onto the pad of your finger as opposed to grabbing them with tweezers or pinching them between your fingers reduces the chance that you end up with nail or tweezer marks in your cake finish. Number three, remember to go slow. This takes a while, and if you try to rush the process, you might end up with more fingerprints and dents than you want. And number four, if the frosting finish is too soft and you're fingerprinting the cake too easily, just pop the cake in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to let it set just enough to where the sprinkles are easy to place, but the finish doesn't dent easily in the process. Once I'm happy with the sprinkle placement, I continue on with the decorating process. In this case, I added some buttercream piping to the top of this cake, and I've tinted this buttercream with Americolor Fuchsia color gel and used Wilton Tip 4B for piping the swirls. Then I add more sprinkles to the top of those swirls right afterwards while the frosting is still fresh and not too set. And there you have it! It's ready to serve right away or pop back into the refrigerator if you've still got some time before you want to put it on display. If you're just joining in with this Cake Basics series, be sure to go back and watch my previous videos on how to build this cake up to this point. I share all of my best tips for creating level cake layers, filling and stacking the cake, the importance of crumb coating, and my methods for frosting the cake smooth. I've got even more Cake Basics videos in the works, and if you want to follow along with this series and all the other fun cake videos I release, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a new one. You can also head to my blog at sugarandsparrow.com sparrow.com for all of my favorite recipes, baking tips, cake decorating tutorials, and so much more. Thanks for watching!